A friend of mine posted one of my videos in the Noita subreddit, and it got some interesting and thought-provoking responses.
That isn't referencing. It's straight ripping entire mechanics from Noita, not even renaming them. It's a no from me.
Shoot. I guess you're right. I guess I should scrap the shooting mechanic and think of something else. Ah, shoot. My game's a first-person shooter. I can't be doing that since thousands of other games are first-person shooters. Shoot. I guess I shouldn't use Unity since it's one of the most popular game engines. I guess I should stop using C# and develop my own language. I guess I should create my own operating system and computer hardware since millions of people use the same specs as I do. I guess I shouldn't do anything because that's totally not unoriginal.
He could have at least changed the castaway and recharge time. He's not even using magic.
Ah! Thanks for catching that. I never would have noticed that since it's so small. Let me change that real quick.
I just need some cool words so that my shooting system is 5,000% cooler and doesn't use magic anymore. Gerrymandering and reptilian sound pretty cool.
Alright, now the gun uses gerrymandering delay and reptilian time. I'll also make it a little bigger so they don't forget about it. Ah, perfect. Enough of that. Let's get into the meat of the video. As I stated in the previous devlog, I continued development on the AI. After learning how nav meshes work, I quickly realized that they're not really suitable for AI that moves around with 6 degrees of freedom. I wanted to create a physics-based flying enemy, so the first thing I needed to create was a floating cube. The first test yielded a cube with no drag, which caused it to be very sensitive to forces. This simple script takes the distance to the ground and uses that to determine how much upward force to apply to the cube. Adding both normal and angular drag made the cube's motion a lot more natural and smooth. The next step was to keep the cube upright. After fiddling around with the rotational forces for a bit, I was able to come up with this. Essentially, the angle between the cube's up direction and the world's up direction determined how much torque to apply. The next thing to do was to add knockback, which was fairly straightforward. I had to mess around with the values for a bit, but I like what I have so far. I'll eventually have different projectiles that do different amounts of knockback, but this lays the groundwork for it so far. A nice little side effect of my turrets is that their projectiles also affect the... hold on. Nonetheless, a cool little addition that could create some emerging gameplay in the future. Afterwards, I slapped that script on my turret model and voila! A floating turret that still can't do anything. This leads us to the current problem I'm working on now. Pathfinding. At first, I was gonna try and use local avoidance to maneuver my turrets, but I quickly found out that it's kinda limited for my use case. So instead, I'm learning how to use A-star to generate a path for my turret to follow. I don't have anything to show for the pathfinding since I'm still in the early stages, but I'm thinking that I'll definitely have something for next month. Also, I implemented a simple PID controller for my floating turrets. This essentially allows it to behave more like a drone when moving in space. I only have it set to move up and down, but I'll definitely expand it to move from waypoint to waypoint in the future. That pretty much covers this month's features. I'm hoping to get pathfinding down by the end of next month. If I end up finishing early, well, then I guess I'll work on some much needed features such as removing items from your inventory. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all on the next one. Also, when I got back from vacation, I got my no-hit run in Noita in a few tries. Whoa!